Evening, everybody, and thank you all so much for joining us to talk about one of my favourite things, and that's cruising. So, tonight's virtual event features Azamara Cruises, and I know that many of you were watching the Azamara Pursuit whenever she sat in Belfast for months, just a couple of years ago, getting a refit. And a couple of our staff were lucky enough to get on board and really enjoyed their time on Azamara Pursuit. So tonight's host is Nicola Singleton, and Nicola joins us from Glasgow tonight. So hello, Nicola. She'll go with us in just a second. I know Nicola has some very
Hello.
Nicola, I know you have some exciting news for us tonight, just hot off the press.
I have. So just before we show you the short brand video and I move on to my presentation, we've got some really exciting news here at Azamara that we have now got our confirmed 100% set sail dates again, which for 2021, yeah, we've been waiting on this for over a year and a half now, so it's great news. And the first date that we will be setting sail is on Quest on the 28th of August. Then we'll follow with Pursuit in September and Journey in October. So it's just great news. We're now starting preparations to get all the crew back on board, get the ships back into dry dock, get them all spruced up and ready to get going again in a few months' time. So fantastic news. They're really excited.
Nicola, the news that we've all been waiting for, yeah, and
Oh, I know.
there's so many of our customers just can't wait to get away, so that's fantastic. So after Nicola's presentation, you can, of course, we will be taking a Q&A, so you can email a question to inquiries@oasis-travel.co.uk, or if you want to pop a question into the Q&A. But I'll hand over to you, Nicola, now. I know you have a video first, and then you're going to go into your presentation. So thank you very much, and I'll see you after Nicola's presentation.
Short video, which is a lovely video to have a wee look at, and then we'll carry on to the presentation. And as Sandra said, I'll be here right up until the very end to take any questions.
The initial layers of a city, including its people, buildings and shops, can be seen by anyone, with each person having a similar view. But inspiration is found deeper. It's found by viewing things with fresh perspective, experiencing more dimension. It's about experiences that reveal unfamiliar scents, melodies unheard, textures untouched, and locals who soon become friends. Immerse yourself in the exploration of new cultures. Discover hidden gems, a deeper world within the world, while at the same time discovering more about yourself. With overnight stays and docking at smaller, less traveled ports, Azamara invites you to step ashore as an insider through a destination immersion experience. Explore further.
I'm absolutely delighted to be here today to be able to tell you a little bit about this wonderful brand. And thank you so much for taking the time out your day to come along and have a listen to this. So I'm going to give you a little insight into the Azamara brand, what we're all about. Also tell you a little bit about what we're doing right now, what our plans are for the future, and of course give you a really good insight into what it's like to sail with Azamara. As you can see from this this slide, we have 3 ships on it: the Azamara Journey, the Azamara Pursuit, and the Azamara Quest. Now, in addition to these 3 ships, this year we have just acquired another ship, and she is called Azamara Onward. And I'm very excited to say Azamara Onward will be arriving with us very shortly, but arriving to sail in summer 2022. So that will bring us a lot more capacity, which is fantastic, because up until now we've only had the 3 ships. And also with that will bring a lot more exciting destinations and itineraries to choose from. So we're all very excited about that here, and I'm really excited to be able to tell you this as well. Azamara Onward will be on sale within the next couple of months, so we'll be able to get a good insight into where she's going and where she'll be sailing to as of summer next year. But the ships themselves are all identical. We have all 4 ships will be the same. Once Onward is here as well. We are nice small ships, 30,000 tonnage, take approximately 700 passengers, certainly no more than that, and we have around 430 crew on board each of the ships as well, so a really nice crew to guest ratio. And as I say, although they're smaller ships, I'll give you a little bit more of an insight later on, but although they're smaller ships, they really have everything that the bigger ships have to offer as well. So everything from various restaurants to entertainment in the evening, the pool decks, the spa, the health club, all of that's on there as well. So although the ships are small in size, they are a really nice, intimate size that you can get to know other people on. But also, you know, they have the ability to offer everything that a bigger cruise ship has to offer as well. So where are we now? Now, I thought this might be a nice slide to pop up because if you're local, like I am, to Scotland, you may well notice or recognise rather where this is. So this is the Azamara Quest sailing up the River Clyde under the Erskine Bridge and heading towards King George V docks in Glasgow, where the other two ships are actually stationed right now. So the three ships sailed anytime between June and July last year, and I feel very lucky that I've had them on my doorstep ever since. Sad at the same time, of course, but lucky to have them there and to be able to, when time had allowed, to go and visit them and visit the crew on board. So just to give you an idea of where they are just now, all getting prepared to be sailing again, you know, later on this year. And the way that it's working there with the three ships, it's always good to have a wee insight that between the three ships we have one crew. So there aren't crew on all three ships. All crew are based in the middle ship, which is the Azamara Quest or the mothership, and everything is running off Quest. So all the cables are connected to Quest, and everything's running off Quest for the other two ships as well. We have approximately 90 crew on board there at the moment, including the master of the ship, the captain, the hotel director, the staff captain, chefs, cooks, maintenance, all of what we would normally need for a ship, but without the guests. And they are taking care and maintaining all three ships, making sure that they're ready and will be ready to sail as soon as we can. The ships will, before they sail, go into dry dock and just have a spruce up. So once we get back out into the waters and you sail with us again, everything will be lovely, fresh, brand spanking new inside. So we're looking forward to that moment when that can happen. But a nice aerial view of the ships in King George V docks in Shield Hall in Glasgow there. Now, since the ships have been there, we've done quite a few things with local companies, local charities, stuff like that. And this is just a little insight into one of the things we did, where we worked very closely just before Christmas with Homeless Project Scotland and donated a whole load of food stuff for them. We had 2 van loads, as you can see there, of the non-perishable foods that we were able to donate from on board the ships, because it just got to a point where the crew wouldn't get through them all. So that was a great thing to do. And another fun fact was this was the first time the crew had ever tasted iron brew. So I took up plenty of Scottish goodies for them, with Tunnocks tea cakes, Tunnocks caramel wafers, Scottish tablet, whiskey of course, and our national drink, iron brew. So I've had a few requests for it since then to get some more up to the ship. So I thought that was quite a fun fact. And as you can see, and I think this epitomises the Azamara crew completely, is no matter what, I mean, they had been there for a long time at that point, and that was in December, still smiling, still having a laugh, still a big smile on everyone's face, and really taking care of each other on board. And it's literally been, whether it rain, hail, sleet or snow up here in Glasgow, they're still doing their on deck barbecues and getting all mucking in, I should say. So but obviously all absolutely desperate to get back out sailing again as well. So just to go on to the brand itself, the destination immersion experience, that is what we're all about. It's all about venturing beyond the sea so you can get more time in port, crafted experiences and connecting you to local life and culture. So the first pillar that you'll see here is the best immersive itineraries. So because of the size of the ships, excuse me, we can really get into the ports that the bigger ships can't visit. Convenient docking, close to the city centres, and because we can do that, we get to stay longer in port as well because of the size of the ship. So longer stays in port, stay later in port than any other cruise line, more overnights in port as well. So just to give you an idea, that 80% of our time, 80% of our deployment in the year is spent in port, and out of that 80%, over half of that is either a late night stay or an overnight stay. We also make sure, just bringing in the immersive experiences as well, we have country intensive voyages. And these have become very popular to be booking this year going forward as well, where we're actually sailing intensively around one country. So the point of embarkation and debarkation is the same country. So there's no moving around from country to country. So we've got quite a lot of them and even more to come and more being created as we speak. So these are really popular right now. We also try to make sure that if there's an event going on around the globe somewhere, whether it be the Grand Prix, for example, the Rentatory Festival in Venice, it might be the Masters Golf in Augusta, it could be the World Cup in Russia, you know, whatever it may be, we make sure that one of our ships is there to cover that event. So that's one of the things we try and work out. When we're working out our deployment and where the ships will be, we try and work out what's going on in the world, so we make sure that we're covering that as well. We also have speciality voyages, and these are like, so if we have a lot of golf voyages, we work very closely with Perry Golf, who are based here in Scotland as well, but we're very, very closely with them and offer golf package cruises around the world. So it's an additional package you can buy on top of your cruise, and you will get the option in every stop to play at either one out of two of the courses on the list there. So we do a lot of speciality voyages to there as well. So going on to 2022 and 2023 and the itineraries that we are actually featuring, we're covering 70 countries within that period of time. So right at the moment, we're on sale up until April 2023. We'll soon be opening up further out than that, but at the moment, that's covering 70 countries, 275 unique and some unrivaled ports that no other cruise line gets into at all. 300 late night stays. So late night stays are either 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So you don't just have the day to spend in port and rushing back on the ship at 4 in the afternoon to sail again in time for dinner. We are staying there until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes. So, you know, think of the places that you could go that really look completely different at night. Even Venice, think about Venice at night compared to Venice during the day. The ambience is different, the atmosphere is different, so it's really nice to be able to experience and see it when the locals come out to experience their own city as well, to be there at that time and sit outside and have a cocktail and watch the world go by and see what all the culture's about in the evenings and the locals. So the late nights are a big part of that. And if we're you know, if it's worthwhile staying overnight, 1 or 2 nights somewhere, because there's plenty for you to see and do, then we do that as well, and we have overnight stays. So we sail really slowly through the night, and we arrive early morning, and then we don't leave again till night time again. So you've got the whole day and the night to spend in many of the ports. As I said, longer stays than overnights than any other cruise line in the world, and that's actually a fact. This, I like to just highlight where we can get really close to the city centres. So we've got Barcelona, Spain there, where we dock right at the trade centre area, and you can just walk off and into town. Venice, we're one of the very few cruise lines going forward that can actually sail, because of our size, we're less than 250 metres, we can sail right into up the river and into Venice. Copenhagen in Denmark, if you've ever been there, you get off the ship, the Little Mermaid's there on the right hand side, you just turn left and you're in the city centre where all the cafes and bars and shops are. Another great example is Bordeaux, right up the river to Bordeaux, and the Guadalquivir River going into Seville as well. So we don't dock an hour and a half away in Cadiz, we're docking in the centre of Seville. So there's some really good examples there of where you're right in the middle of things. It's all about walking off the ship and walking, if possible, into the port town that you're visiting there. This is a great slide just to epitomise how close we actually get to the towns and the port town. So this is Nice. So it's literally walk off the ship, up round the harbour, and you're in the old town of Nice there. So really, really close to the city centre. Then we move away from the immersive itineraries, which is really what we're all about, and making sure our guests can really make the most of the places that we're visiting. After all, that's why you go on a cruise, not just for your experience on board, but that's why you choose the itinerary that you're choosing to, because it's the places that you actually want to see and experience. But moving beyond that, and even more things really, and more excursions and experiences to make it more immersive for you, we're going beyond the sea. So we not only offer the complimentary As Amazing evenings or cultural events, which you will have one on every cruise. Again, that's complimentary bespoke evening that Azamara put on for the guests, for guests of our cruise. And then we also have pre and post collections as well. So if you wanted to do a pre-land stay before you board the ship, or you wanted to stay afterwards, we can organise all that for you. Also, our local shore excursions are really immersive as well, and they're slightly different to just sightseeing tours. And then we have overnight excursions as well, or overnight experiences. So this is an example of one that we do in Mumbai, where we take you to the, there might only be 12 people on this excursion, so we're not talking a lot of people. It's probably 12, maximum 15 on an excursion such as this, where we'll take you to a local's house. You get to learn with them and the family how to cook their local food, their traditional food, and then spend time with them in their house or in their land or in their gardens, enjoying the food that you've just cooked with them. We also do overnight experiences. This is a favourite of mine in Chile at Moon Valley, where the overnight experience is all about stargazing. So that's a glamping experience. And then, one of my favourites, I'm really lucky enough to have done these safaris pre and post, but also we do overnight excursions, game drive excursions, where we take you to a resort, you stay overnight there, you do a few game drives, do a safari, and then we take you back to the ship as well. So there's lots of opportunities to just extend that experience a little bit further and make it much more immersive for yourselves. And then obviously we're moving on now to our ships. So the ships themselves are a nice size, as I said, 700 passengers, which makes them really nice and intimate. You get to meet people really easily, and it's very easy to manage as well. And we've got a lot of crew on board, a really good ratio of crew to guests, as I said before. They've got everything a bigger cruise line has to offer, various different restaurants, and we have specialty restaurants as well, the main dining room, the buffet restaurant, the patio. So there's a lot of different choice on board restaurant wise. We've also got the spa and the health club and the fitness suite. We have evening entertainment every night, including 2 shows in the cabaret lounge, and plus we have the band and the DJ, etc., in the living room as well. So there's certainly plenty to do on board. So just because we're a smaller ship, it doesn't actually mean that we have any less amenities or any less entertainment or anything else than a bigger ship has. It's just on a much smaller scale. We don't really have children's facilities on board. In fact, we don't have children's facilities on board. So we don't get a lot of kids. We accept kids, of course. We love having children on board, but it's just obviously, if you are wondering that question, there's not really much to do for them to do on board at all. If we do have kids on board, we'll normally set out the table tennis for them, or the Wii or something like that. We will do our utmost to try and keep them occupied. If we do have children on board, it tends to be multi-generational families that are cruising with us, or else maybe some crew members have got their families on board, and that's when you'll maybe see a couple of kids running around, but we don't really have any facilities for them at all. I also wanted to mention just the ambience on board as well. We really call it understated luxury. It's a beautiful, luxurious environment, but there's no stuffiness around sailing with Azamara. It's very laid back, it's very relaxed. We don't have dress codes for dining. You can, there's some little ones like no shorts in the main dining room in the evening and open-toed sandals, i.e. flip-flops. So very little things like that, but there's no formal evening, so you don't need to take your tux, your evening dress, nothing like that. It's just a very relaxed atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, people do like to get dressed up and go for dinner. So everyone does make a little bit of an effort, but it's just a nice, relaxed atmosphere. And during the day, most people are out and about exploring whatever they can do. This is just a few images. It's the patio pool bar and grill, the Mosaic Cafe, which opens early morning for you to go and get your morning coffee before breakfast, take it out on deck. Beautiful place to just sit and relax. And this is a living room which turns into the kind of nightclub and the DJ and the bands at night, a great entertainment spot here. And it's also great just for relaxing and during the day too. We have a salon on board, a spa, a health club. I mentioned that a second ago. And of course, they offer all the treatments that you would expect and all the fitness classes and spin classes and everything else that you may want to do when you're sailing. Always good to get a snapshot of what the the staterooms look like, and we range everything from an inside ocean view, balcony plus, and then we go into the suite, starting at a Club Continent suite, then a spa suite, which you can see on the top right here with the tub outside and the balcony, up to the ocean suites, and then the top Club World Owner suites. So all are a really good size. You have all the amenities that you would imagine on board. You have your mini bar, you've got your safe, your hair dryers, obviously your shower and your toilet. Some of the suites have baths, so if you did want that, you'd want to stipulate that at the time of booking. But yeah, all beautifully contemporary designed, nice, warm, calming atmosphere in the cabins. I mentioned earlier about what's included. Your tips are included in your price. All your spirits, beers and wines are included in the price. All your specialty teas, coffees, water, etc. So all of that is included from the minute you embark to the minute you debark. So there's no it's not just with dinner, it's not just with breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's at all times, all drinks are included. And then there's some additionals that you would have if you were a suite guest as well, like a butler service, in-room spirits, onboard credit, etc. And there's our wonderful crew. So we've got some great destinations. Just wanted to highlight before I finish up. This gives you an idea of how intensive the New Zealand and the Australia intensive are, all the stops that you've got there in New Zealand. We've also got the Far East, many in the Far East. Japan's a very popular one where we have a Japan intensive as well. We've also got all the European intensive. This is a popular Rome to Venice. And we also have many Greece intensives as well this year and next year. So look out for them and seeing some of those amazing Greek islands that some cruise lines have never visited before. We also have a cruise with confidence message, so you do have plenty of time to change your mind due to obviously COVID restrictions and stuff like that that's around just now. So there's always a future cruise credit to be offered up for that in case you want to change your cruise. And we also have a best price guarantee that you can change up to 48 hours and we'll lower the price if there's a better deal there. So keep all this in mind. It's all just to make you a little bit more confident about booking an Azamara cruise. We'll make sure that we take care of you in case any changes have to happen. For me to say now is thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed, Nikki. I must admit that Azamara really appeals to me. I mean, I really like the thought of the small ships and getting into the ports that the bigger ships don't get into. The overnight stays appeal to me as well, and certainly staying in ports for longer. I have about 6 questions that have been sent through. So just before I get the glasses on, I just wanted to talk about the cruise with confidence policy, where you can change your cruise up to 48 hours beforehand. But just to clarify that doesn't include any flight changes. That's a separate thing. Am I right in saying?
Yes, you are. So the cruise itself, you have up to, if you book the whole package with us, then that's, we can try and take care of everything and change everything. The cruise itself, the cruise with confidence really is, if there was any, particularly at this moment in time, because it isn't a normal kind of term that we offer, terms and conditions that we offer, but obviously with things changing so fluidly at the moment with COVID and everything, we just want to make sure that people have the option to make a change to their cruise in case anything, God forbid, happens to them or there's further restrictions in their country. Then we will definitely cancel the cruise and change it over, and if the whole package booked with us, we'll obviously take care of all of that as well.
Great, okay, so nice to see that bit of flexibility. So
Yeah.
this is where you need to get the glasses on to read. So yeah, so Pamela's saying, yeah, I've cruised a lot before, usually with a celebrity, but the smaller ships are very appealing. What would the average age on board Azamara be?
You know, I get asked this question quite a lot, and sorry, what was the lady's name?
Pamela.
Pamela. I do get asked this question quite a lot, and what I tend to say is, you know, I'm in my 50s, and I have many friends of mine and myself that sail with Azamara a lot. When I go on board, there are people quite a bit younger than me, and there are people quite a bit older than me. So to come up with an average age is probably the wrong thing to do. What I would probably say is it's more of a lifestyle moment. So once you're kind of at that point in your life where you're maybe an empty nester, kids are up and away, you know, you like exploring, you like to go to countries and get off the ship. You know, it isn't about lying. So, I mean, some people do this, but it isn't about lying sunbathing every day by the pool, so to speak. It's more about what do we want to see. There's, you know, we want to do an intensive cruise around Japan. We've always wanted to tour around Japan. It's always been quite complicated. Look, we can jump on an Azamara ship, spend 11 nights or 13 nights and see the whole of Japan. So it's more about where you're at in your life, you know, how adventurous you are, about really liking exploring rather than an age, because we've got people in their 30s that like to do that and their 40s, and we've got people in their 70s and 80s that like to do that. So I know it's not giving a definitive answer, but it really is a broad scale, and it depends what you like to do with your free time.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Nicola. Nicola, then three different people are asking here. I would predicted this about vaccinations. Do you need to be vaccinated before you get on board?
Okay, so we have just come out with the vaccination protocol literally yesterday. So this is kind of hot off the press. And what we're doing is, yes, we have stated that everyone over the age of 18 has to be vaccinated to come and sail with us.
Yeah.
And it's just in black and white like that. It's as simple as that. We just need to make sure that all of our guests are safe and all of our crew remain safe. And, you know, we don't want any hiccups. You know, we've waited so long to get back to service and get back to sailing. We've now got 28th of August as the whoopee day that was happening. So, yeah, we have to make sure that everybody's safe. So we've just, to keep it simple, everyone over the age of 18 has to be vaccinated.
And I think that's probably going to be the way forward.
I think so, yeah.
Cruise companies. Okay, now what have I got here? Yes, Anne is asking, because we've had a couple of cruise presentations and where people have been talking about capacity on ships whenever they return to sailing. Will the ships be sailing, you know, at full capacity?
Initially, no. We won't be sailing at full capacity when we initially get back to service. As I said before, for Quest it's 28 August, for Pursuit it's September, and for Journey it's October. So, and all of these are Greece itineraries that we're launching with for all three ships. So the capacity will be a reduced capacity to start with, obviously till we just start progressing and see how things go. I mean, the situation is so fluid just now, it's very hard to come out with an exact number. This is what it's going to be like, this is what the protocols are going to be, because we know how quickly things are changing right now, and between now and the 28th of August, when we're due to set sail, so much could change in that short space of time, to the point where, could we actually sail with full capacity? We might be at the point of that time that we could, yes. But at the moment we're looking at sailing with a reduced capacity to start with.
Okay, Nicola, thank you. Joan has put a question up. Will Azamara honour the future cruise credit that we have currently due to our cruise being cancelled last year?
Yes, if you have it, depending on the T's and C's of your future cruise certificate, but you have an FCC, if you have a future cruise credit that you've had from a curtailed cruise or a cancelled cruise, then you can use that towards another cruise.
Okay, that's great. Okay, one from David. Likes the look of Azamara Onward. So 2 questions here. Is the capacity, it's a bigger ship, is it still 700, and when does it go on sale?
Okay, so it is still the same capacity, 700. It's the same as the other 4 ships, the other 3 ships rather, that's number 4. I would say keep your eyes and ears open, but we're looking towards, I think I said at the beginning of my presentation, within the next couple of months. So it definitely will be within that time. But I would say we will probably be going on sale within the next 6 weeks or so.
That's great. Okay, so that's interesting. A bigger ship, but still the same capacity.
It's just, we're going to have exactly the same capacity, and we are just really excited to find out what these new itineraries will be, because we will be going to new destinations that we haven't been to before, ever.
That's what makes Azamara exciting, isn't it? The destinations. Now, a final question, and this has come from Zoe. Are prices expected to rise sharply for 2022?
Well, the prices are actually out there already for 2022. And the good thing is with Azamara, the pricing is real pricing. So we have in the past done campaigns where it's, buy one, get one free, or, this type of thing that everyone goes with. We've now turned our pricing around to real pricing, where obviously those discounts are still coming into it, but the price is what it is. So the price that you actually see when you're going on to book, whether it be through Oasis Travel, you're going to book it, that is the price that it is. So there's no hidden discount in there, there's no hidden cost being pulled through for the discount. So it's basically, we call it real pricing or simple pricing. The price is what it is. So everything that we've got on sale just now, which is all of 2022 and up until April 2023, the real pricing is visible there to see. The prices, there's some have increased, there's some have stayed the same, there's some in some cruises are a little less. So there's no major spike in pricing. And it's all going to be relative as well, particularly if you've got, I think if anything, the challenging thing going forward is going to be, is travel prices increasing at all in general because of what's happened. But I think, everyone's really keen to just get as many passengers back on board as we possibly can. So the last thing we want to be doing is hiking the prices up.
So would you have, just off the top of your head, an average price for sort of cruises?
Well, I can give you a price for one of the featured sailings, like the 7-night Italy intensive that I'd mentioned earlier on. Yes. I think it was a quick slide on that. So that goes in April next year, and the lead-in price for that is $1,299 for the more inclusive, drinks included, tips included, cruise only price around Italy. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of what a average 7-night price is. Obviously that can depend on the itinerary, on the amount of nights, on the specific itinerary as well. And remember, prices are fluid, Sandra, so depending on the rate of sale, prices do go up and down. It's the same with everything. If we start to get sell really well, and we get there's a limited amount of balconies available now, so prices are fluid and they do change now and again, but there's no hidden agenda within our prices. So the price that you see is the price that it is, and there's not anything else in there.
Well, when you take into consideration the sort of luxury quality that you're getting on board and the standard of the food and everything that's included, it's fair to say that it definitely offers fantastic value for money.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking you're just paying what? I mean, if it's a £1,200 cruise for 7 nights, you think what you pay for a hotel, you know what I mean? For a 5-star hotel, for example, without everything included, you're probably talking the same or even more per night. When you work it out as a per night price, cruise is actually a really reasonable way to holiday, because you've got all your drinks, your food, as much food as you want, as much drinks as you want, and tips and all of that already included in the price, with none of that to worry about. And all you would be doing in addition, which you guys would be sorting out Oasis, is the flights and the other stuff to go around that.
And any onboard credits or anything at the minute, Nicola?
At the moment, you have got, for this particular event, Azamara and Oasis Travel are offering a $250 per booking onboard credit for any bookings made either tonight or within the following week in connection with this event. So that's a wee extra exclusive offer for your guests that are watching tonight, or your customers that are here tonight. But other than that, on top of our real pricing that we've got, we will occasionally come out with a flash sale, which generally is onboard credit, if I'm honest. Now, onboard credit, people sometimes say to me, well, what am I going to you know, everything's included. What am I going to spend my onboard credit on? But there's always a few wee spa treatments that you might want to, you know, get involved with. And there's obviously our shore excursions as well, which that can be used. And we've got our lovely shops on board as well. I mean, them are small shops and not huge amounts. We don't have a shopping mall, so to speak. But, you know, and so there's always something else, you know, or the specialty restaurants as well. So there's 2 specialty restaurants on board, which the only things that you would really pay a supplement for. So there's always something that you can use your onboard credit for that just gives you that wee bit extra.
I don't think we have any problem in Northern Ireland spending money. You know, one of the cruise companies told me that some of the highest spenders on board the ships were those people from Northern Ireland.
That
So
does not
that's
surprise me. And I'll tell you another wee fact, and this might interest your guests as well. We did a few years ago, we did a survey of, you know, our kind of hot spots in Britain, and where the majority of our guests, and this isn't guests just booking through a travel agent, but this is all guests that sail with Azamara. So they could be booking anywhere. And the number 1 region for most of our guests, the highest share of our guests come from Northern Ireland.
Yes, that's great.
And the next area is Scotland, is the Glasgow area of Scotland. I think a lot of people think because Azamara is a luxury brand, people were assuming it would be south of England somewhere, or, you know, where allegedly all the money is, but it's not. I mean, it's our Northern Ireland and Glasgow are where the most of our guests come from. So
Northern Ireland.
exactly.
Oh, no, look, that was great. Like, thanks very much. It was a really informative presentation. It's really great that the ships are coming back this year.
Oh,
Really
so
great
exciting.
that they're such good value for money. But I've been saying in some of our other cruise presentations actually that since the beginning of January, cruise traditionally would account for about 35% of our business. But on new bookings that we've taken from January, it's actually been over 50% of our business. And I think it's down to that value. People that have been booking for next year have just seen the value in it, what's included in a cruise in comparison to a land-based holiday. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been lovely to have an opportunity to speak. One more thing as well, just on the cruise. I think the really nice thing about a cruise, if someone's listening tonight and they've never been on a cruise before and they're maybe new to cruise, it's a really good way, particularly now where you're in quite a controlled environment, you know, so to speak. You know, everyone's on there, everyone's been tested, vaccinated. So it's a really good, you know, as travel begins to open up again, it's really a nice way to kind of introduce that back into your life, I think, by going on a cruise, because it is slightly more controlled than just kind of tipping up anywhere off a plane. You know what I mean? So
there's no doubt about it. And confidence is going to be a big thing with everybody traveling that hasn't been traveling for a while. Confidence, and I think certainly cruising is definitely going to offer that, which is probably why it's been so popular.
Yeah, that's good news.
Just to say to all of our customers a big thank you for tuning in tonight. So we're really delighted that we're actually opening our offices from next Tuesday. So our 6 branches will open from Monday to Saturday. We're doing reduced hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. but we're doing an extended telephone service. So you can call any of our branches Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the branches are open until 4 o'clock. Saturday hours by phone or call in between 10 and 4. So we're really delighted to get back to seeing everybody face to face again. So thanks for checking in. Have a great weekend and look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye bye everybody. Thank you again, Nicola.
Bye.